welcome once again, dear students. Uh, this lecture is the second part of our discussion on Adhe Adhure by Mohan Rakesh. Uh, it's a play of two acts, uh, and it is rated as one of the most significant plays that caused a new trend in playwriting. That we have been already discussing all along. That is, it's a genre of Nai Kahani. It's a new story. It portrays the realities of an unstable household, presents a microscopic picture of middle class family. The play seeks to construct the search for identity within the unfulfilling, incomplete nature of middle class existence as a universal experience, along existential lines as a primary concern. Now, this might be a story of a particular household, but this household is uh, the representative of all the middle class households all across the globe, where everybody is in uh, a hot pursuit of identity, and their existence is so unstable and unfulfilling. There is widespread discontent, dissatisfaction, and resulting in uh, depression. This play also deals with personal happiness and sorrow of the characters, the forged identity of the characters, the new parameters of man and women relationship. Why this becomes very important? Because uh, you know, uh, post the era of feminism, when women, the working women era rather, when women started earning their livelihood, not only livelihood, they had a greater say in the general scheme of the things, not only in the household but outside. Their contribution, social and economical as well, in the well-being of the family and the society, that caused some sort of disturbance, uh, if I may put it this way, into the social fabric. Earlier, the gender roles were pretty much defined. There was perfect clarity in it. What role will be played by man, or what role would be played by women. But now, after women becoming independent, and not only financially, but the other way around, they are managing the household, and now they are leading from the front. So this is the situation that caused some sort of imbalance, because the egotism of the male members of the family could not handle this in a proper way. So the personal, desire for personal freedom and existential quest for modern man, you know, uh, becomes the focal concerns of the play. So the characters are taken from the middle class society, uh, and all the characters here appear to be frustrated and dissatisfied with their lives. So major characters, uh, you see, there is one central character, Savitri, a woman of 40. She is a working woman. She is the only breadwinner of her family. Uh, Her husband is unemployed and is good for nothing. Has a lot of plans, but he not only is completely incapable of executing the plans, but also he is unable to manage his household affairs, and um, he has lost respect uh, his respect in the family. Uh, it's played by a particular character. Uh, in the play, it's a very interesting point that you should remember, that all the male characters, except the character of the son of Savitri, that is Ashok, is played by a single individual. A single individual becomes the first man, the second man, the third man, the fourth man. Why? Because uh, the playwright has got a particular design in his mind that I'll be discussing in the last part of the drama. So the Savitri's husband, his name is Mahendranath. He is approximately 50 years of age. There is and Savitri, Mahendranath, and the husband-wife have three children. Ashok, 21 years of age. Binny, the eldest daughter, she is 20, and Kinne is the younger daughter. Apart from this, we have male characters like Juneja, Jagmohan, and Singhania, and there is a reference of a character called Manoj as well, but he doesn't come up front. The plot starts with a monologue of the first man, Mahendranath, in which he talks about the uncertainty in his life as well as the members of his family. And in the monologue, the, the, the character asks a particular question. The question is, who am I? And that question itself becomes the pivotal question here, referring to the central idea of this, the central theme of this play, the search for identity. When the play opens, we see that he's talking to himself and about his you know, disrespect in the family and what he should do and what he shouldn't. Then we see Savitri, his wife, returns home from office, and she is quite disappointed to see the sorry condition of her household. In her absence, there's nobody to manage the household affairs, even though her husband Manmohan stays at home all the time, but he is completely incapable of managing household affairs. So, see, Savitri informed the members of the family that his boss Singhania would be visiting them, and the pretext is she would be talking to Singhania about the job she wants for her son, that is Ashok, who is a good for nothing fellow, spends most of the time idling and doing nothing. So next is the husband escapes meeting his wife's boss with an excuse. This is very important because husband is quite intolerant of the success of his wife, one, and secondly, he is aware that his wife Savitri might have certain flings or some sort of affairs with the male members of either his office, or she has male friends, or she has affairs. So this escape of Jagmohan refers to these two things. Their elder daughter Binny returns home at the same time following an altercation with her husband Manoj. She is married to a person called Manoj, Binny, but she returns home because she is unhappy there. She has constant quarrels and she doesn't care what happens to her household. And then we are introduced to Ashok. He spends most of the time doing nothing. Ashok's mother, Savitri, does everything in her right to secure a good job for him, but he doesn't do anything. He leaves the job in the middle and does nothing. And in the end, we meet the youngest member of that family, Kinni, who is rebellious because she is aware that the household affairs are not running smooth, so that rebellion comes to the fore, and she is a disturbed child who has started taking interest in sexual affairs in a very tender age. Now, the entire household is where you see nothing is functional, neither the relationships nor the system, because the hierarchy of the family is is lopsided. So Savitri is not happy doing everything for the family, but she doesn't get that recognition. She is not happy with Jagmohan at all, and that's why she tends to search that ideal man of her dreams in the male members of the society she comes across, whether that be Jagmohan, uh, whether that be Singhania, whether that be Manoj, because interestingly enough, Manoj happened to be Savitri's lover, who eloped with Savitri's daughter, Vinny. So, the entire plot where we see a conflict between husband and wife, brother and sister, and everybody seems to be restless. And the end of the story, what we witness is Jagmohan leaves home for some days, and in his absence, Savitri confides uh, to her elder daughter Binni that she has taken a decision, a major decision, rather the most important decision of her life, and she has asked Jagmohan to come and talk to her. And now probably the indication is that she is going to leave the household where she is not happy at all, and she will start a new life afresh with Jagmohan. But Jagmohan happened to be interested in Savitri a few years ago, but now the things have changed. And when she tells Jagmohan that um, she is willing to have a relationship with him, and she visualizes uh, a future with him, Jagmohan finds some lame excuses to thwart her approach to him. So she comes back disappointed once again, and learns that uh, Manmohan, her husband, who went to his friend's home, Juneja's home, is returning after a serious illness, and at the play ends there, as if the playwright Mohan Rakesh asks a final question: is it a crime to live fully? Is it a crime to live fully? This is very important. So, in a middle class family, your hopes and aspirations never, come true, or your dreams never materialize. That's how the story ends here. And thanks for your patient hearing. We'll be discussing some important aspects in our next video.